Hey guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. We're gonna do something here that we haven't done in a while. I think we've actually only done it once so far. I intended to do it more, but kept getting distracted with other videos I wanted to make. But we'll do one here. Something we call Rando pull. And full disclosure, stole this idea from Norman Maslov. Awesome channel. You should go check him out. Fantastic channel. But he calls his whack-a-mole, and he's the master. But it's basically where you randomly, blindly pull. We'll do five records off the shelf, and then those are the five that you talk about in the episode. So it could be anything. So let's do the pull here. I'll start over this direction. There's one. I won't look at it right now. Let's put it there. I guess we can go over here now. Pull that out. Feels kind of big. All right. What else we got? Let's go down here. All right. There's one. Let's see. Let's go down. I think the soundtrack. Let's pull out a soundtrack. The soundtracks are down here. I haven't talked about soundtracks that much. I do love soundtracks, actually. All right. One more. Let's go back there somewhere. Is that one or is that two? All right, well, whatever this is. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's check out what we got. All right, guys. Let's see what we got. What is this? Journey Captured, a live album from that, I guess, that middle period of Journey. There you go. Check that out. All right. Yeah, so this was, well, here. So obviously Steve Perry's on board here, Neil Sean, Greg Raleigh, and then the other two guys. Well, I think that's Steve Smith and, who's the bass player? I should know him. I should remember him. Well, like I said, with Rando pull, you pull it and then you don't prep it. So I'm drawing a blank on Journey's bass player during this period. Editor can throw it up there. But yeah, but there they are. So this is, I think this is the last one before Greg Raleigh left. And then Jonathan Cain comes on board for Escape, and they totally changed, or not totally, but changed their sound quite a bit. But yeah, so this is a live album, double live album, Captured. This came out 1981. So yeah, it was kind of pretty much right before Escape and that whole new 80s era of Journey. Yeah, I don't like this very much. It's another part of Rando pull, right? You pull something that they're not all great. Yeah, I pretty much prefer the studio versions of almost all of these songs. I don't know. Steve Perry's banter with the crowd kind of irritates me, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything on here that I remember being really good. Like better than the studio versions. Not really. Yeah, there is one kind of added studio track, "The Party's Over," which I mean, I guess takes a little more, you know, meaning because, like I said, I think Greg Raleigh is going to leave after this. So I don't know. If you want, that kind of '70s era Journey or whatever, I just go to those studio albums. Even though this was '81, but it's basically like all the tracks are from those like trio, like Infinity, Evolution, and Departure, like those trio of albums when Steve Perry came on board and Greg Raleigh is still in there. So that's kind of what this material is. Whatever. All right. Okay. Here's a great one. Here's a great one. This is the soundtrack I pulled. Friday Night Lights. Now, this is not the television series, which actually probably got more acclaim. More people saw the TV show than saw the the actual film, but this is the film, the soundtrack to the film that came out. Those of you who may or may not know, actually, I love the album art. It's wonderful images of West Texas, right? Because that's where so it was originally a book by what's the guy's name? Peter Biskind, Biskind, I believe. I don't know why that name's sticking in there, so I think that's it. It's a fantastic book, and it was kind of this. So he was this journalist, and he went out to West Texas and sort of embedded himself. Uh, it's like Midland, Odessa area, Permian Basin, that area, and sort of embedded himself out there, where high school football is absolute king. And he wrote this fascinating book. I have the book. Like I said, it's Rando Pulse. I didn't know I was going to pull this, but if I had been prepping it, I would show you the book. I have it somewhere. Really good book. There's this sort of, I don't call it an expose, but just sort of this account of what life was like, sort of being embedded in that culture. And I don't 90s or late 80s, whenever it was written. I don't remember when the book was written, but around then. And just, where, like I said, high school football is like everything, and it really captures it. So they made a great film. Billy Bob Thornton, right, was in the film. And then, of course, that great TV series, which is outstanding too. But this is the soundtrack to the film. And I love this soundtrack. It's a double album. There's two records in there. And the vast majority of the music is done by a band called Explosions in the Sky. And they are a fantastic band. I have a few other CDs of theirs and stuff. Everything I have that I've heard of theirs is instrumental. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they've done some stuff with vocals. I don't know. But everything I've heard that I own, at least, is instrumental that they've done. And it's just really kind of moody, atmospheric. I mean, captures. I mean, like I said, I love the album art here. It kind of captures that mood beautifully. Kind of ethereal in some ways, but it can kind of start to drive a bit. And I mean, and they're basically a couple guitars, bass, and drums. It's a pretty straightforward lineup, but they capture this really, I don't know, almost kind of Daniel Lanois, kind of vibe. And in fact, I say his name. There, yeah, there's a Daniel Lanois track on here too. There's also, let's see, who else? David Torn is on there, but I'd say 80% of the songs on here are explosions in the sky. And what's really interesting, there's one track that on the surface seems way out of place. You got all this moody stuff, kind of atmospheric stuff, and then you got a song by Bad Company, but the song is Seagull, which is this gorgeous, acoustic song, and honestly just fits right in. So highly recommend this. This is fantastic stuff. All right. Oh man, I must have grabbed just like kind of moody atmospheric stuff. This is a great band. This is a group called L1011. L1011. This is their debut. Okay, good. It's two dudes. It's two guys. Christian Dunn, who plays all the basses, and Tim Fogarty, who's the drummer. Okay. And they're really unique. I saw them live once, and it was just phenomenally great because these two guys, what they do on their records, but they also do it live, is a lot of looping, and so he'll play some bass line and then, like record it, loop it, whatever, and then just play another line over it and kind of loop that. And they sort of build the tracks into these really interesting, complex, beautiful, melodic. I think at some point they have added some vocalists a little bit later, but a ton of their early albums and this one, it's all instrumental. Really, really great. Like complex, interesting. And like I said, seeing them live, it's cool because they do the same thing. Like, so you can watch them do it. He'll sit, Christian Dunn, phenomenal bass player. He'll sit up there and play this bass line, loop it, and then, sometimes he has like double neck basses. And so he'll kind of do something on the second bass and loop that into it. And then, like 4 or 5 lines. And it's just, and it gets so, but their writing is really good too. It's not just noodling. I mean, they actually write these interesting, like really beautiful melodies, and I mean, they're songs. I mean, they're constructing songs, but it's just, anyway. this is their debut, which is, I mean, a great place to start. Was it My Only Swerving is the opener, and that's, I mean, I don't know. Go check that out because I mean, if you don't like that, you probably won't like anything else. That's one of their great songs. But I recommend L1011. All right, what else we got? Oh, look at this. Freak Out, The Mothers of Invention. Frank Zappa, of course. Yeah, take it out of. I actually do have this one in plastic because it's an older, actually an older copy. What I understand, one of the more desirable ones, but I did pay a decent amount for it. But I really wanted it. Now, one of the this and Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, right? Kind of vie for like the two of the first double albums. How many double albums I pulled out. But anyway, yeah, this and Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, kind of the two first double albums in rock and roll, both like 1966, I believe. Now, I'll say that I'm not a huge Zappa fanatic. Respect him, admire him, but there's a handful of his albums that I do just love. Hot Rats and this one, really. Those are my two favorite Zappa records. And I have a few other ones, but I have not explored Zappa nearly enough, I guess, as I should. But I don't know. I've tried here and there, but just kind of stops and starts. But this one I find incredible, and then Hot Rats. Yeah, this is so revolutionary. Just in its structure, like how he like the first record is more structured songs, which is great because it kind of eases you into it, right? And Zappa was a huge fan of like kind of traditional pop, like doo wop and stuff like that. But of course, it's Zappa, so he just does this. He just turns it on its head, so like deconstructs, but also is really respectful of that great sound. So it's really funny stuff. And then of course, the second record, the second album is just, well, Freak Out. For that time, I mean, really blows your mind. Experimentation. Anyway, yeah. Frank Zappa, or I don't know, technically the mothers of invention, but Zappa was leading the charge there. And last on this rando pool, oh, this is damn another double. How many? I think I only had one single. Like everything else was double that I pulled. This is a really good compilation. Jack Bruce, Willpower, a 20-year retrospective. So this came out. This came out in 1989. So when it came out, and it says 20-year retrospective, 69 to 89. Yeah, I mean, Eric Clapton, of course, gets I think the lion's share of attention, maybe from his Cream days. But man, Jack Bruce, just as if not more talented than Eric Clapton. I mean, certainly Ginger Baker too, but. And so this is a really good because Jack Bruce did some very interesting things post Cream, but of course it wasn't really in the mainstream. I should pull some of them out, but his first couple of solo albums are fantastic. Um, Songs for Taylor and Harmony Row, especially those two, are amazing. But so this does a great service of collecting some really great tracks over this 20-year period. Now there's, let's see, one, two, it's like two Cream songs on here, which is a nice starting point. Kind of so you have your bearings, White Room, and As You Said. But then from there it goes off on these his solo work. It's a lot of songs from Harmony Row and songs from a Taylor. But even after that, yeah, the whole first album, yeah, is those two Cream songs, a new song or a song he recorded in '89. But then all the rest of the songs are off of those two first solo albums. So you do get a real good representation of those two great albums. And then the second record just covers a lot of his other stuff. Really good records like House Tricks and Jet Set Jewel. Kind of hard to find. I have both. I think I have both on CD. I might have House Tricks on vinyl if I don't remember, but I know at least I have them on CD. But they're not the easiest to find, and they're really great records. I love Jet Set Jewel, but there's some great songs off of those on there. So yeah, this is a fantastic sort of, you know, nice retrospective of Jack Bruce's, at least, from 69 to 89. And he continued to do stuff after 89, but very good. All right, guys, that was kind of fun. Random, as it's supposed to be. So so next week, I think the order, I'm recording both of these on a weekend, but I think this is probably going to be the second video of this week. So this is probably Thursday, I'm guessing. And so next week we're going to kind of do if you remember, we did Springsteen week a while back. Well, there's another artist that I do need more than one episode to cover, and not have you sitting there watching something too long at one time. So going to be dividing it up another week, another huge artist, and so that'll be kind of fun. All right. Well, please do subscribe. We really appreciate it. It helps us do what we want to do. Like the videos, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you next time on Amity Tracks.